Hi guys, it's Carlos the Ultimate Fitness Trainer once again, and thank you so much for watching the video. And today we are doing a video about why we in the gym see crazy stuff. Now, let me start with saying that more than ever there's people training, there's more gyms being built, there's more people probably trying to become their greatest versions, but not so much sometimes the right way. Now, we as trainers and as fitness enthusiasts and as people that work in the gym, we see all sorts of people in the gym. And let me tell you what I have learned with all the experience I have and spending years and years in gyms, that I kind of like see a lot of things that you guys may sometimes don't obviously witness if you just go to the gym once a week or twice a week or 3 times a week. Sometimes you're only there for an hour or so you're probably not witnessing what we trainers see. So what I can say to you guys is this: there's too many stupidity happening in gyms, too many silly people training, too many people doing the wrong exercises. And then it's one thing that boils down to one particular thing is ego. It's all about their ego. Now, don't take me wrong, I love to see, and I actually do that myself, if you can lift heavy weight correctly, go out and do it. I mean, that's why I love to see bodybuilders training. They train very heavy, okay? But they train correctly, okay? Yeah, there's some cheating principles you can adapt, you know, like you swing a little bit, cheating in order to create more emphasis on a muscle, cheating for the principles of creating more muscle mass, cheating for the principles of creating more power. Yeah, all good. But I see guys, for instance, I'll give you an example, and he's one of my pet hates, like on bench press, on squatting, for instance, those particular 2 movements, where they literally pack the bar full of weight, and they can barely move that weight off the rack. And when they manage to get the bar off the rack, especially on a squat, they literally are doing this. You know, it's absolutely pathetic. I mean, same thing with the bench press. Then they'll put 3 or 4 plates in there. They've got a guy either side, a guy behind them, and literally the guy behind them is literally doing deadlifts, and the guys on either side are doing literally upright rows with the bar. And I just think, I mean, I'm sure you guys out there probably seen this before, and you see, why are you doing that? There's no principle. There's no one out there that builds a physique like that. And I'm telling you, no matter whether you take gear, no matter whether you eat correctly, you won't build a physique. So you are kidding yourself, okay? Now, I can give you an example. Like, if you look at great fitness models or great bodybuilders out there, and sometimes you think, oh, they train very heavy. Yeah, some of them do train heavy, but if you look at, for instance, someone like, I don't know, a normal fitness model, like, they're not going to use huge amounts of weight, man. Do you know? If you weigh about 13, 14 stone, you're not going to be lifting 4, 5, 6 plates. You're not, because your body scientifically hasn't been made to lift those kind of amounts of weight anyway, unless you're on crazy amount of gear where you are able to do that, but your joints ain't going to last very long with that pressure on the ligaments, on the tendons, on the cartilage. It's not good either, you know? So all I can say to you, and all I can say to the guys that won't witness this, is quite hard, because especially as a trainer, when you witness people doing that, it's almost like you want to look almost like, you know, bash their heads together thinking, what the fuck are you guys doing? But obviously we can't do that. Or some of you guys probably can, but I wouldn't advise you to do that. What I do advise people to do is to get educated. And I love the fact that all of us as trainers try and educate people and get people doing the right things. But a lot of people think they know it all. They don't need anyone to teach them anything because they know it all. They're all Mr. Olympians, by the way. All these guys, they've been there, they've done it. They all say they haven't done fuck all, but they've done it. They've done it. In their minds, they are Mr. Olympians. They've done it all, okay? So who am I or anybody to teach them anything? So, you know, I kind of like, don't take me wrong, I mean, I've got a lot of experience in this game, but I kind of avoid even sometimes to say anything to people, even like that or anyone really, because I think, you know what, if you guys are that thick or that stubborn to kind of like think that you're doing the right thing, there's no point me even telling you. Obviously, I can tell you one thing, like with all my experience that I've got, I basically I've come across where people, like, sometimes you tell things to people and you can tell they're really talking on, and then they really do the things that you've asked them to do, and they do it correctly and they improve it. Okay, it takes sometimes time to get your right technique and everything else, but then eventually they get it, which is a massive improvement. But there's people I've had the experience where I've had guys. I had a guy 4 months back where he was doing lat pull down, right, and he was getting the bar. And I'm sure you probably guys seen this one before, and it's kind of comical, really, looking back. But it's not comical when you're at a profession. You think, what's this guy doing? He's getting the bar, right, and he's literally kind of like going all the way back and doing almost like a windsurf sort of like motion, and the bar's going everywhere. And don't take me wrong, he's lifting the whole rack. There's not almost like very minimal amount of lats interaction, but he's absolutely going for one, and he's going and he's banging the weight up and down, and he's almost like, if you watch it, you're thinking, what the fuck is he doing? But anyway, in his mind, he's sweating, okay? He's got a vest, he's in front of the mirror, and he's kind of shaking, and he's kind of looking at the mirror, and people think, someone that knows a little bit about training will think, what the hell is he doing? And you can imagine me training my client. I'm kind of like trying to concentrate on my client and seeing this guy doing this. It's almost like, he can't even concentrate because this guy is literally making himself look like a clown. But I went over to this guy and I said, listen, mate, are you trying to do lat pull down? And his answer was, yes, I am. I said, okay, have you been shown how to obviously to work on this machine? Don't take me wrong, obviously, being in the industry for so long, I kind of articulate my language around that. And I know people are very protective because if you've got a big ego, if you do those kind of things, he's kind of, and I said, don't know who I am, obviously. And he kind of like said, yeah, I'm trying to do lat pull down. I said, I just explained to him, listen, if you're trying to do lat pull down, just make sure you use a weight. Yes, it's hard for you to do it, obviously, because you're trying to build muscle, but make sure you target, obviously, the muscle that you're trying to work on, not trying to, obviously, doing something completely different. I was very respectful. And don't take me wrong, he said, yeah, okay, let me see how you do it. So I did it. I showed him very basic, very quick. And to be fair to him, first set he did it, he was fine. He did it quite correctly. And then obviously I had to reduce the weight by almost like half. Okay, he was struggling to do it, by the way, correctly. But then he was fine. So I kept an eye on it. I went and carried on training my clients. And to be fair, he was good. He done it correctly. He done the exercise correctly. Comes the following week, okay, same exercise, same time, same place, he was absolutely windsurfing again. I walked past, and he says, oh, all right, how you doing? He went back to the same set, and off he goes. So I thought, you know what, it's pointless. These kind of people literally are thinking they know better. Let them carry on. And this is something that kind of boils down to what I was going to say to you guys. It's all about the ego. Now, as you guys know, I talk about the ego when I talk about psychology work stuff and whatever, and motivation and whatever else we talk about, depending on the topic. But, I always say, and you guys know, people that have got big egos get fucked up. And your ego will fuck you up, okay? Now, we all have an ego. I've got an ego, you've got an ego, every person's got an ego, okay? But sometimes you need to measure what are you doing to benefit you as a person, and what you are doing in order to benefit your fucking ego. But your ego will fuck you up, because a lot of this stuff that happens in gyms, and don't take me wrong, not just in gyms, but I'm talking about gyms because obviously I'm a trainer. So it's something, it's all about that ego. There's nothing to fucking do with training. I mean, there's no point. I mean, you can speak to any professional, any bodybuilder, any fitness model, any powerlifter. There's no point whatsoever for this guy to do this particular movement this way. There's no benefit on earth, apart from looking like a clown. But in his mind, he thinks he's doing the right thing. Now, you guys can imagine, what the fuck are we doing this for? Now, I'm just giving you an example. I see these things on every single gym I've been to. Do you know what I mean? That's not just one particular gym. You guys out there know, but all I'd like you guys to do is to think to yourselves, and I always say this to all of my clients, is make sure you're training correctly, okay? Make sure you are dieting correctly, depending on obviously your goal is. Not everyone wants to get ripped. Not everyone wants to gain weight. Not everyone wants to lose weight. Not everyone wants to look toned. Not everyone wants to be faster. So we all have a goal, right? But make sure your goal, your training goal, runs parallel to your diet goal. Okay, now once you do that, make sure you are training correctly with the right volumes, with the right intensity, with the right podages correctly. Now once you get good at those things, so your training runs parallel to your diet and you're getting really good at it, your movements are correct, then obviously your podages come through. Okay, as an example, if you want to grow, as most guys now want to, look a bit more muscular, more masculine and muscular for the girls, and they feel good, macho man, as you probably would imagine, some people would say, a massive ego and want to look beefed up for Instagram is fine. I mean, I do that myself, and it's good. It's a good feeling. But one thing I never run away from is training correctly. Okay, now some of you guys that actually know me would see me in the gym. Sometimes I actually lift very heavy weights. Okay, my training partner knows this. Some days we lift very heavy weight. Okay, there's some days we lift very lightweight. There's some days we do high intensity training. Some days we do low intensity training. Some days we do a lot of cardio work. Some days we just do anaerobic work. We cycle our training, but one thing I do, right, I train and do the movements correctly. Now when I do a little bit of power training, for instance, like with cleans, or for instance for deadlifts or squatting, I do it very correctly. Now when we go a bit heavier, there's always a sense of obviously cheating a little bit. Of course, I'd be lying to you if I'm going to stay like a statue there, where I'm going to do really perfect exercises. I actually say this to everyone, there's not perfect exercises, because we are two-dimensional beings. We're supposed to move front plane, sagittal plane, and transverse plane. So obviously we're supposed to be moving everywhere, jumping up and down and twisting and everything else. So we're supposed to be moving. Now there's a particular way of exercising correctly, using the exercises correctly, but there is not a particular perfect exercise. You can't sit down with someone there, which you're going back years ago with personal training, you'd have a guy there and you'd be like a scientist, almost like sit down, head up, chin up, head back, shoulders back straight, bend your knees, and you almost like before you even lifted the weight, he spoke for 10 minutes. So that's that's PT 15 years ago, and then someone would pay probably a good part of 30-40 pounds for someone to just literally be there looking at their posture. Now that kind of PT maybe still exists. Obviously it's great for you, but what it is, we are a lot more activists now, which is basically those kind of things should be basic for the trainer. You should know the person should have a back straight. You shouldn't be telling the person's back straight all the time. You should be able to tell someone to breathe down on exertion. All that's just basic stuff, which is I personally tell my clients still, but it's stuff that I spend more time on really focusing on what they have to do. Now, with all this said, all I'm trying to say to you guys is this is about, we've got to stop that ego fucking you up in the gym. Train correctly, get a training program, no matter how long you've been training for. I see people that have been in gyms for years and years and years, they haven't still moved. They haven't still got any results, and if they do have, they still got a massive great belly in front of them, because a lot of the guys, as they grow, the belly grows. Why do you think that is? Oh, okay. So you haven't realized a lot of the guys say, oh, I've got some size on, and then this will start coming forward as well. And then they go, I'm going to go on a diet, and then they lose all this, and they lose that. They end up being nothing. So I wonder, I'm actually asking you a question, why do you think that is? Okay, ask you a question, why do you think that is? So there's a reason for it, because these guys do not know how to train, and these guys do not know how to diet. Because if you do know how to diet, you retain, yes, you are going to lose a lot of volume, but you retain a lot of muscle, but you lose a lot of body fat from the stomach areas. Now for the guys out there that don't know how to do it, they lose, it's like a balloon, inflate and deflate, but there's nothing, it's almost a fat version, a smaller fat version of yourself when you diet. You know, a toned, muscular, hard motherfucker, strong physique. So we literally like a fat version of yourself. So what I can say to you guys is there's a lot of stuff in that. I love to say this to you guys. Educate yourself. Okay, biggest thing is, if you want to train correctly, just educate yourself. Now we've got everything. We've got Google, you've got magazines, you can go on YouTube, you've got Instagram, you've got Facebook for the guys that do it, you've got Twitter, you've got everything out there giving you all the tools in order for you to train. So there's no excuses, but more than ever, I see crazy stuff. Okay, so this stuff, I'd love to see people training properly, getting good results without damaging themselves and giving themselves bad reputation. So with all that said, guys, you know where to find me. It's Carlos here, strength and conditioning coach, personal trainer. I also do NLP coaching, psychology work, and also football coach. So find me on my Instagram, CarlosTrainer10, on my website, www.ultimatefitnesstraining.co.uk, and you can find me on YouTube, Carlos Trainer. We've got over 600 videos now. We are growing more than ever, and please subscribe, it's free. So I'm here. I always say this to you guys, I'm not here to tell you how great Carlos is and how amazing and how much knowledge I have. It's not about that. I've got a lot of knowledge, but I'm learning every day, and I'm becoming my greatest versions by helping you guys becoming your greatest versions. That's my goal, and that's what I'm trying to do. So until next time, guys, stay happy, stay healthy, stay fit, have a beautiful day. Take care.